Tonight we are talking about Maggie and Jackson. Meredith has a new enemy, and we're adding a new segment to the show tonight. All that is coming up and more. Don't go anywhere.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
We're getting down in the studio tonight, you guys.
This song is just so upbeat.
Doesn't this song make you feel like a boss? Like you just walk into the room and own it?
I feel like it should be like the Olivia Pope.
Yes.
Thank you guys for joining us tonight. Yes, for another episode of the Grey's Anatomy After Show. We are your hosts. I'm Elle Marie. On my left is Tori. We have Krista and Timothy Michael.
What's up, everybody?
Oh my gosh.
OMG moments tonight.
I just want to let you guys all know that this show has me sweating right now. Yep. Like,
it's a little cold in LA right now, but it's hot.
I don't want to say too much. I don't want to take it too far. Like,
no, we won't. But it was hot. It was hot.
So yeah, that moment was a highlight.
Yes.
You guys, you watched the episodes. You know we're talking about that lovely Jackson. But like I said earlier in the open, we have a new segment we're going to add on to the show a little bit later. We also have some news to talk to you guys about with some Grey's Anatomy characters. But before we get into all that, let's just go into the episode. What were some of the top things that grabbed your attention with this episode?
I'm going to say annoyance. I was annoyed at a lot of the relationships this episode.
Interesting.
Yes.
There was a lot of sex going on.
There was.
Which a lot of it was annoying because there was relationships I didn't want to happen.
Yes.
But there was also ones that, I could get with now that I wasn't sure I could last week. But
okay. All right. I agree with both of them. There was a lot of sex, a lot of relationships. I might have called him out last week, just saying.
Okay, go ahead and tune in.
I was annoyed as well, but only with one character.
Oh, okay.
Can you guess who that was?
Luca.
Actually, no.
I was just projecting my own feelings
Marie?
then.
No, not Auntie Marie either. Kepner.
Oh.
I just towards the
April.
end, I was like, okay, this is not you. Like, we get it. You're bitter. Boo-hoo.
Oh, okay. Tori's got a lot of feelings about this.
Right? Like, we're over you.
Yeah. Okay.
But, okay. I'm just so eager to talk about Jackson, but I won't go right into that. We'll kind of start a little bit lighter with some other things. I know, listen.
We're preoccupied.
Really, like, I can't even concentrate. Like, I was watching that and him talking to her and that nice subtle, like...
We've watched it
Right?
twice.
We watched it
Yeah.
twice.
We
Never
did.
rewind it.
Oh my gosh. Like, I'm like
We're that thirsty, you guys.
his stance. That scene is just like right here in my head. Like, I see him right
It's his
now.
voice.
Like,
I was going to say, it's the voice. It's on
I'm going to be thinking about Italian for the rest of the week.
I think it's just his smoothness.
It's
But
everything.
it's in the voice, too, so...
I don't know. Oh, stop it, Anne-Marie. Oh, stop it. You're getting me all hot and bothered over here
He's the
already.
whole package.
He's everything.
oh
Okay.
my gosh. Okay.
Let's, so he had to fix an ear. We can start with that.
Yeah.
Poor April.
That was
she's
gross.
going through some things.
Yes.
And this didn't help. There's a situation with the ear. So the young lady, Sarah, comes in. She's the rugby manager on the team. She wants to play, but she has a heart condition. And the guys are in the ER as well. They're throwing around the ball. April's like, stop. Stop.
Like now.
Now.
Which makes sense.
Of course.
Totally. You guys are grown. Come on now.
Thank you.
You're in a hospital.
Wait. Okay. In their defense, they are not grown.
They're in college.
They're 18.
They're in
But in
college.
boys' terms,
But
that's like
thank
12.
you. Thank you.
But at
Thank
the same
you.
time,
Men
but you
ever
know not
Right.
to
You do.
I got
You
your
do.
point. Yeah.
throw balls around when somebody's like, there are sick people all around you.
That's
There's like,
true.
Yeah.
come on.
true.
And something can happen like it did. He threw the ball one more time and it ping-ponged off everything. And
It really did. Though.
It really did.
It really did.
and boom. And then April accidentally cuts off the girl's ear.
Oh.
And then DeLuca trips over.
Yes. I was
not
already
funny,
grossed
but
out
it was
enough
funny.
when she was trying to like do the bleed thing.
Yeah.
I thought that was gross. But
Yeah.
then when she sliced off the ear, I was like, what's happening? And that's just step one of my annoyance of the episode tonight. This is going to be the several steps of Tim's annoyance of this episode. So no, overall the episode was good.
Yeah.
Just like these little things that annoyed me. These grown-ass men just throwing around a ball, causing things. And then not only that, but we'll talk about it, but then they were kind of unapologetic about it.
Right.
And then wanted to continue to do stupid throughout the entire episode. And I'm like, did you not learn from what just happened? Annoyed.
Right.
Yeah.
And then
Annoyed.
also for me, it was also like you didn't really listen to the woman. Then when the man came in,
Oh, then
Oh.
they're
put
scared.
down, right?
That's
I
a
wasn't even
good
going there,
point.
but that's
That's
another
a good
deep level of
point.
my...
And an international
That's a
woman.
good
It's
point.
on Women's Day.
But okay, I totally agree. However, Owen did kind of like, you know,
He laid down
pushed
the hammer.
right. I mean, honestly, do you think if he would have been like, "Hey, stop," that they would have stopped?
No.
So
He had to
I
kick
think,
some butt.
right?
Yeah.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
I do get your point though.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I want to
People
see what
didn't really
everybody else
do
in the
much.
live chat has to say about that. If Anthony, our wonderful engineer, can pull that up. Because I want to see your thoughts on this episode, you guys.
You got it.
Thank you.
Wonderful like that.
But I think that whole situation sent April. So last week, I think I was kind of saying like, well, maybe she isn't spiraling and maybe like she's okay. But then they ended the episode with her on top of the bar with the interns. And then now like this happens and then Owen has to send her home because legal matters get involved.
Did we
Like,
agree with that? I have to ask you guys this.
with her getting sent home?
Yes.
I mean, maybe not, but it's probably protocol because I mean that could
Right.
be at the time. It did seem like her fault, even though it wasn't. But she cut the ear.
no, but the
You know,
whole
so-
point was that she didn't report it.
Oh,
Yeah,
That's
she didn't-
why
she didn't
she
come
didn't
to.
report it.
But
There was no incident report until
Right.
like it had been heard through the grapevine and
right.
got to Weber.
That's why
Yeah.
she was suspended.
Right, but I just like look at it and I go, it's an ER. There are things that are happening. Like she can't just stop.
Yeah.
She's running the. She
True.
runs the ER.
Like send
So
an
she-
intern
you
or
expect-
something. I
yes,
guess.
I guess she could have sent an intern, but at the same time, she's got a lot going on,
Yeah,
and she just
true.
cut somebody's ear off. Like she's got things preoccupied. Doing an incident report and
Yeah.
paperwork is not at the forefront of your mind.
Not to mention, she might be a
Right.
little foggy from the booze the night before. You know.
You know, coming to work hungover seems to be her thing.
Yeah.
You know, but I think at the end of the day, we forget that it's still a business. Like, yeah, you're saving lives, but there's protocol.
It always freaks me out when they go into that weird kind of gray area, pun intended, with the whole legal matters for Grey's Anatomy, because we look at it as a hospital, and obviously a lot of things, it's TV. A lot
Yeah.
of things that happen in this hospital on TV aren't what really goes down, except for when you get into the legal matters. People try to sue hospitals all the time for malpractice or
Right.
some stupid thing that happened or some little incident,
Right.
because they're just trying to get money. So
Right.
once they go into like the money and financial aspects of Grey's Anatomy, that's kind of when it makes me nervous. Because remember when Grace Sloan was like broke? Well, no, it started off as Seattle Grace was broke, and then they had to buy it
The
out.
doctors
and that's how
eventually own it.
So when
because
they
of
talk
it,
about financials and suing things, I thought they were going to drag it out a little bit more in this episode. I'm glad they didn't, but it always makes me
Yeah,
nervous.
especially with Sarah's father being a malpractice lawyer.
That just
Like
was
karma.
yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it worked itself out.
did.
Yeah, that was pretty.
I
good.
liked Sarah though. I enjoyed her as a character.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. I liked that they kind of deviated from, oh no, you don't just have an ear thing, but you also have a heart thing, to
Right.
get Maggie involved.
Yeah.
Right.
And I liked that Maggie was like, oh, I can fix you, and that kind of like not only put a patch on like her heart, but put a patch on this whole like malpractice thing.
Yeah,
yeah.
Because it's
Right.
like, oh wait, you could actually fix my daughter in the
Yeah.
end. Maybe I won't sue you.
Right.
Oh,
Right.
thanks,
Yeah.
Dad.
Literally,
Right.
that's what made
Right.
her put her foot down. I
Yeah.
think, Dad, we're not going to sue because we can fix my heart.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I really
she
like
could really
that.
live her life the way she wanted to.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Play some rugby.
Were we surprised that they didn't get into like hardcore cases in this episode? Like there was Chris with the leg and Sarah with
Yeah.
the ear, but there weren't any like life-threatening or any other
think
like
there was
cases like that.
Too much
No,
going
I
on
think-
with
yeah.
Right, like
relationships.
personal
Yeah.
lives, there was
Yeah.
a lot
Yeah,
going on.
there was
Yeah.
a lot of drama there. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I want to touch on Kimmy real quick, just for a little bit.
Yeah.
Because when she's. I hope she pulls through.
She-
with
yeah,
everything.
'cause
they
every
have her on
episode-
here. Yeah,
Yeah.
for a few
Grows on
episodes.
you.
Yeah.
She does.
So I hope
She
this
really
works out for the
does.
best. But poor thing. So she's nauseous now, so she's dealing with all that. I guess they're starting the chemo, I guess, and so
Yeah.
that's one of the side effects. And she's like, she's not eating, the medicine isn't working, and even before they said it, I was like, marijuana, because but it's known
Were you
to
really?
help. I really was, because it's known to help those things like
Yeah.
nausea and to build up your appetite. So a lot of times, a lot of people may use it for recreational use, but it really can be used for medical purposes.
Yeah.
I didn't think that they could use it in such a young patient because she's only 12. So I wasn't aware that. Obviously November 1, it's Los Angeles, everybody. It's California, it's legal. There are certain aspects of, what is it?
THC.
Thank you. I mean, I know a little bit about it.
Opposite ends of the spectrum.
No comment.
So there are things out there that give you like the benefits of it without actually getting you high.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's a preconceived notion of marijuana just being like this gateway drug to other drugs and just having like a bad rap. But at the end of the day, it does more good than it does harm.
Especially in like this situation. But it makes sense why when we talk about the grandma's reaction is what it is because wow, what a family history.
Right. But I think that was cool that like, well, not cool, but interesting in the fact that like Karev had those same issues. I think that completely changed the grandmother's perspective on like not him just like, trying to keep this patient in so he can get money, but like he cares for Kimmy a lot. And I think for the first time she really saw that.
I just love Karev so much. I feel like his character development over the seasons, he's just grown so much, and I just love his interactions with the patients. And I feel like his past with drugs and like his family, it always comes up somehow when he's dealing with these kind of cases, and I love to see how it like unfolds. It's one of my favorite things about him.
Here's who I'm missing: Parker. His I don't want to say intern. His the person that he's working with on his case, the transgendered guy. They like touched on that, but they haven't really brought that back. And I thought that they were going to give us a little bit more to his character because he was working so close with Karev, but they haven't touched back on it.
Maybe in a couple weeks.
Maybe because I would like more backstory on him than Sam and DeLuca. You know what I mean?
We'll talk about that. Just another step to my annoyance, which we'll get to.
The chat is...
Yeah, did you just read Joe March's comment?
No, what did he say?
I miss kick butt peds Guru Karev.
Oh, yes.
Love to see the focus on him.
I agree. I felt like when he was like doing the work for like the African children and he was like all passionate about that, that's when he was at his best. Yes. But I feel like this whole him being so consumed with this one case of Kimmy, I'm like, there are other kids out there. Can we move on?
Right. But I think that just goes...
I know, but I'm sorry. But I mean...
That shows like his passion though, I feel like. And then just his growth, like... Karev went from wanting to save everybody to like, okay, like we do need to focus on this one and see if we can save this one. And then if we can, great. If we can't, okay, move on to the next one. I think he's still like trying to figure out, how to balance his emotions with his job.
Which is funny because that was Izzy and him in the beginning, and he'd be like, Izzy, you need to stop putting your emotions in these cases, and now he's like kind of half Izzy, which
But it's funny because it's with kids though with him, like with kids it's a harder line to draw.
Which I'd be the same way. You do you, Karev.
Right.
Yeah.
Aww. We're all like, children, sick children.
We're like a freaking, what is that hospital that always comes on with the infomercial?
I just
St. Jude's.
St. Jude's.
We're like a St. Jude's infomercial over here, guys. A penny a day.
Simone said this made me want a baby, Alex and Joe. Like, Simone, do you want Alex and Joe to have a baby?
You know what? They'd make pretty great parents, so I'm I don't know.
I don't know.
No, they're too busy, maybe. And I think
too much
they
are too much.
Joe's too young, and I think Karev's just always got other stuff going on. But like in perspective, if
like they
weren't doctors, I could see them together.
Like I thought she was admiring.
She was
when he was playing checkers with Kimmy.
She always does. Like that's her thing.
But I feel like Karev has a lot of growing up to do. His temper is just too out of control to have a child.
His temper still.
And B, Joe, like you said, it's too young. She's too young. She just literally got out of an abusive relationship.
That's true.
Like an ex-husband. That just died. Like we got too much going on.
I think they're both.
I take it back.
They're both just getting to a point where their issues are surfacing, like they're at the forefront. So then now they're dealing with it. So you kind of can't move past and go to the next step until you actually fully deal with whatever it is. So now Karev is pulling back. He's trying to do better with his anger. And now Joe has, is done with the whole husband situation. And so, but now you have to kind of heal from that.
Of course.
And then you can kind of,
Yeah,
think about
if you rush it,
children
it's only
and,
going to end badly.
marriage. Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
But I'm interested to see where the relationship goes.
Maybe
Oh,
season
yeah.
17, you know?
Oh, I like your, I love your hope for season 17 for this
I mean,
show.
at this rate, it's possible.
Oh, it's going to go there. It's going to get there.
going to.
I want to talk about Mare.
Oh.
You guys, I was like,
Who else was confused at first?
That is
Confused?
sad.
Not at all. I knew that it was going to have a relationship to Alice, because obviously this was an older woman that we were talking about. Was I surprised that it was somebody that Meredith knew? Yes. Did I love the fact that they always bring back Alice in some kind of way?
do you
Yes.
mean Alice?
Alice, not
Sounds
Alice.
like Alice.
I don't know why I called it Alice.
Same.
Alice,
She's
yes.
been gone a while.
I love that they always call. I always love that they call back to her in some kind of way.
Yeah, but I was not expecting her to basically take advantage of Meredith.
I
that was
saw
not.
it. Yeah, especially at the end before Weber came out and was like, "Hey, is she like over it?" I had a feeling. I'm like, the fact that she wants to go home and sleep on it.
Yeah.
I'm like, she's up to something.
Yeah.
And it was something, when she said, and Timothy and I looked at each other when Maria said, it was all too wonderful. And that just seemed like something
It seemed like
weird
something
to
was
say.
off.
That
It was
off.
Like
We both was
basically,
like,
she just
wait.
gave you a new idea and you're gonna go run with it. Auntie
Which,
Marie.
if that happens, would really suck.
Right.
And
I'm sure
how
that's what
does-
she's thinking.
But
yeah.
how does that look on your end that you stole somebody's idea who's a Harper Avery winner?
Well, who knows besides Meredith and
Joe.
Yeah.
and the
just
intern.
them. Yeah.
And even
Yeah.
but besides that, like Meredith can't admit that she started it because she was using the polymer without permission.
Right. And I'm going to
So-
play devil's advocate for a second. But what does that look like on Meredith's part? Like, her immediate thought was to go back and look at those journals. But how long have you been looking at those journals? Like, you didn't
Notice.
catch
Yeah.
that in
I think
the
it's one of those
journals?
things
Like,
with grief too. Like when she was looking at it afterwards, you see what you want to see.
Yeah.
So you
Mhm.
probably skim over a lot of
Yeah.
the.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's read them a lot.
Especially
so.
somebody
Yang
who-
would have known.
Right? She
Christina
would
would have
have known.
But I'm glad that you brought that up because you see what you want to see. And the
Yeah.
last time she saw this woman was on her 8th birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, and like you said, she got these journals once
Yeah,
Ellis
she was
died.
looking
so
about
it's-
stuff regarding
Yeah.
her, no one else.
I get
yeah.
that. That's a good point.
And then it probably didn't even cross her mind, like, because she didn't, the last name didn't ring a bell.
Exactly.
Also, because
Yeah.
that's what made me kind of get in this mind of, like, confusion. Like, okay, but
Since she
the
called
last
her.
name never rung a bell to you to say,
Right.
oh, I wonder if it's not a
Maybe-
common,
yeah.
last name, and it's in medicine. So to me, I'm just thinking, like, if you did know this person.
That's true.
A light
Maybe
bulb
since she
went
was like so young, and they make it a point for her to be like Auntie Marie. So
Right.
Well, true,
that's
that's
probably
a-
just
yeah,
all
that's a
she
good
knew.
point, yeah.
It's
Right.
been years, like 30
Yeah, that's-
years
yeah.
since she's seen her. So.
30
That's actually a good
years,
point.
but her mother was like, you either loved her or you hate her. And I feel like as the other person, you knew which side of the spectrum you were
Yeah.
on when it
Yeah.
came to her.
Yes.
So I feel like, I don't know, in my opinion, she should have known, like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
my mother didn't like you.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
my mother did like you.
That's
But I guess it was like how Weber said, I guess they fell out after a certain point in
Yeah.
time. And maybe she,
Yeah.
mentioning that she was so young, probably didn't notice that or pick up.
Meredith's
on
mom didn't
that.
talk to her much.
Yeah,
so.
that
Right.
too.
Right,
You
right,
know,
right,
so.
right,
Yeah.
right.
But I am, go ahead.
Sorry, I love Julia
Yes.
Goji, I think, in the chat. Sorry if I butchered that name. She said, I wish Richard has seen this woman earlier so he could have warned her.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I love how
Yeah.
Grey's Anatomy always does this. Like, hospital's so big that you
Mm-hmm.
don't
Mhm.
see
So
somebody
many.
until it's way too late. And you're like,
Or like they'll introduce a doctor one week and you'll be like, "You've been here this whole time."
Right? Where'd you come from? Right, like the doctor.
like the
Kate,
doctor
the
today,
C-section.
Kate. I'm like, "How long have you been here?"
Right? You're running up the C-section rate. And
Yeah.
Where'd you come from?
right. Yeah, I'm excited to see where they go with
Yeah.
this Dr. Marie Cerrone lady because
Yeah.
I was hoping that she would be like kind of like a mom figure to Meredith
Yes.
almost.
Yes.
Since she really was never that close to Alice, but then I don't know where it's gonna go.
No, now I'm actually upset because of
I'm upset,
the
too.
facade she put on. Like,
Yeah.
Right.
you know, like I'm so
Yes.
excited. Oh, your mother would have been so proud, so proud. Now I'm ready to like slap her.
I'm pissed.
Because
Like,
True.
But I just think that that's totally out of order. You know what I mean? Like, you just sit there with this, you're just being so fake in front of her.
Yeah.
Knowing that you're just playing this part because you want to see what she does have now. Because you, at this point now, we realize she probably had no intention on releasing the patent to her.
Right.
But just wanted to see what she had.
Of
and you're going to
course.
play nice until then. And, you know, in some certain situations, that's okay. But when you were close to her, you know, as a child and she looked up to you, that's wrong to me.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm
No,
upset
I agree
about
with
that.
you.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
I think that it's unfair because I don't know how it is in the real medical world, how if doctors like underhand each other all the time, but it's different when you know this person, and it's different when you know this person since she was like little. Like the beef that you had with her mother has nothing to do with her.
Yeah.
Right.
So why bring it in?
That's why I want to know what this beef is, because it must
It
have
has to be
bad.
Yeah. Like she slept
Like,
with
that
her
was some
husband because
stuff.
Alice was popular for
yeah.
that. Sorry, you guys.
Like,
She was.
no,
She
and
slept with her husband.
and the previews for next week kind of make it look, was she like, there might be more than one, like, secret relationship I didn't know about. Did you keep that? Catch that in the
I missed
Weber
it.
gonna be
Yeah.
pissed.
So, like,
Weber was
Alice
cheating and
might
he was
have been
getting
busy.
cheated on.
You know how men are. He would be so
And you know
upset.
Alice loves those ethnic men, so if it was a Spanish man, I love it. Just saying, you guys, come on.
Timothy is on it.
Okay.
Maybe that's her sister and not her aunt.
Oh my god. Okay. Moving on. Come on.
It's not against the
Elmarie.
realm of possibility in
Look
this
back
show.
here, freaking Jackson.
Well, we're talking about relationships and everything, so let's get into all this sex. So, Krista.
Oh yes.
Yeah, you
Let's
were
get
saying,
into
like,
this sex,
get into this
Krista.
sex.
Well,
Well, that was your highlight of the show.
Okay, well, let's do it. We got.
What was your favorite part?
Wait, it was. There was a lot going on. But we had, like, Owen. Hello. Owen.
Yeah.
And
Amelia?
the elevator
And
scene.
Amelia, yeah.
Oh,
Well,
my
it
gosh.
started with the elevator scene, and I was like, these two are not going to go down this road again.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the episode, they went down that road
I
again.
mean, I thought it was pretty obvious that
Yeah.
it was going to happen when
And,
Amelia was
yeah.
watching him put those football players in
I like
their
a
place.
strong, or a man with authority. Is
Right.
that what
Yeah.
the
That's
lady
what
said?
and
And she's like,
Yeah.
me too.
Right? But like I said, no, for me it started in the elevator because they were so
Yes.
close.
Yes.
And I feel it probably didn't happen, but in my mind, I feel like Amelia did like one
Oh.
day while she was standing in the elevator.
she just backed up. real
Probably
quick.
did.
This is not helping.
That's when April pipes up and she's like, yo,
This
I'm
is not a
here.
healthy
Right?
working environment.
Because
whatever
I
she
feel
said.
like usually when you're that packed in the elevator, you're not that talkative.
Yeah.
You're not that open.
P.S. Are there stairs in this damn hospital?
No.
Like, we're not all obese, you guys. We can't take the stairs.
You know, there
Aren't doctors
is.
supposed to promote healthy
Didn't
activity?
Meredith fall down the stairs once?
Yeah,
Everybody
I was
was
gonna say
falling
that
down
the
the
stairs are only used to fall down or for
And tell
people to make out.
secrets.
The
Right.
elevator, the
Yes.
elevator is only made for people to get shot in and for people to make
Yeah.
out.
Or do other things.
But yeah, but then it was like
Ugh.
really on when she, like you said,
Ooh, at the end.
yes.
I just don't like them together. I just don't like Owen and Amelia together. I don't like the fact that
Yeah.
they broke up nicely. They had a mutual breakup.
They did.
And then now you're kind of like flirting with this kind of disaster in a way. Well,
Yeah.
sex always complicates things.
I
to me.
know,
It
but
does.
in this case, if they're just gonna, have a little fun, then like have a little fun.
What
But
I-
I don't want it to complicate things.
What are you gonna say?
You cut that too? Okay.
You got some strong
Okay,
feelings.
sorry. Amelia's personality, because she is an addict,
Yes.
and because it is like, okay, yes, you haven't had sex in a while, but do you really need it that bad? So since she can't,
She's an addict.
she can't stop herself
Hey.
from
You're
doing
right.
the
No,
things
it's
that
a
she
good
really
point.
wants to do.
Yeah.
So she's like, she needs that
You're
sex.
right.
So when Owen was telling her, like, I never told you I was grateful for you and things like that, and I thought she was going to be subtle about it, like, try to ease in there. She's like, you grateful enough to give me sex? I was like, whoa.
It's just
Well, we're
forced.
bold.
It's forced and it's uncomfortable. And Nevermore667 in the chat agrees with me. She says, he or she,
Yeah,
sorry,
I
I
read
hate
that
the Owen and Amelia relationship. And I think
Which
that's the
agreed,
consensus of
but-
mostly everybody. I want to know what happened with Karina and Owen. Like they
Oh,
were like
God.
sleeping
Yeah.
together and then they just stopped and now
Well,
Karina's back with
Arizona.
Arizona. I understand that, but it wasn't addressed. Like there's no
It
like
wasn't addressed.
awkward like moment like, hey, we sleep together but not anymore. Like that was
Yeah.
probably just sex between them. I understand that. But I still want to see what happened with that. Did I like them together either? No. Karina needs to be with Arizona, but I want to know, I want a little bit more closure to that relationship. Or
I feel ya.
sexual relationship.
I think
whatever
she
that
just
was.
decided she'd rather be with girls for the time being.
I'm all about her
Yeah.
being with Arizona. She is so hot to me. I'm
Yeah,
all
they're
about
funny
her.
together. They can do their thing.
Yeah.
I was gonna say no. Shoot, what was I gonna say? He made Owen like I guess it was in the elevator when wasn't it? Amelia was like, "Are you having sex?" And he was like,
Occasionally.
"A little."
Oh, yeah.
occasionally." And I was like, "Well, who
With
are you having
who?
sex with?"
Yeah.
Karina.
Yeah.
Well, they were. And then
Yeah,
they
but
stopped.
in between, where are you finding the time?
right.
Or the people.
Some intern.
Like, no one on this show has had sex with a random person, like, or
That's
outside of the
very true.
hospital.
That's very true.
Besides this Priya girl. But,
Yeah.
And Maggie.
Maggie.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I guess they do have
Maggie.
lives outside of the hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Let's get to Maggie.
Thinking, well, I'm kind of glad you brought that up because I want to talk about that because that opening shot of the entire episode was Maggie
Maggie.
waking up with Clive.
Clyde.
And I was like, thank God it's not Jackson. I thought that they
For
were
a
going to open
second,
up with Jackson and then they were going to like rewind and be like, 3 days earlier. And I'd be like, oh no, you already lost me when you opened up with them together in the bed. It's so weird.
Yeah. No, that I did not see coming.
Yeah.
That whole.
The end
Oh.
of that, yeah.
Okay, can we talk about
But
the game
let's-
night first?
Yeah, I was like, let's
Yes,
get
yeah,
to
let's
that.
build up to that.
Yeah.
Because that game night was literally the most... And I love me a game night. But that was the most awkward game night from hell that I've ever
So you're saying
seen.
you wouldn't want to be at that game?
I
night?
would.
wanna be at that
I
game
would
night.
have loved to be at that.
We're going to be flies on the wall.
Popcorn. Like, this is so good.
That
April was her best April. I
Yeah.
mean, she was
Oh my
annoying.
She was
but
annoying.
She was
yeah,
hysterical.
she lost me there. But I was
Yeah.
like, so bitter. Like, literally, that's the only word that kept popping into my head.
Yeah.
She is bitter right now.
I'm
She is
going to
very
disagree with you. I was a little confused when she kept being such a harping on the rules, and then I was like, wait, what just happened? Like, of course, like she just literally got benched and suspended
Yeah.
off of kind of a technicality, like
Yeah.
because if people aren't following the rules, you were following the rules, but somebody else wasn't, and you got benched for it. So then I was like,
Right.
it all fell into place for me
That-
then.
yeah.
So her behavior wasn't annoying to me. I could understand her frustration. I was like, you're sexually frustrated, and not only do you have your ex there who is bringing a new girl, but you obviously can feel that
Yeah,
he has
with
something
Maggie.
right.
Right.
So there's all
Right.
of that. He doesn't want you anymore. Then added on top of that, you have this whole thing with the ER and being suspended because of somebody else's mistake. Like, I understand April's frustration. I'm
Yeah.
all for it.
But
And
her
also-
frustration was like building up.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it
It's been
didn't
building.
just occur this episode.
Exactly.
She's been.
And if you
bitter.
look at like past April, this is how she reacts when stuff like this goes wrong. And you got to think she's struggling with her Christianity right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's
That's
like sleeping
huge.
around
That
on
is
marriage
huge.
again.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
she's freaking out. So I think it's just April is spiraling
Yeah. She's
again.
just-
and
yeah,
it-
she's losing
game
it at
night
this point.
pushed her over the edge because
I-
she's competitive and people weren't
Yeah.
following
That's
the rules.
true.
Because I will say,
That
like,
is so
I get like
true.
that sometimes too.
I would have been
no,
April,
you
not to
can't
that
do
extent,
Like,
though.
you
See,
know,
I mean,
just
I
to
was
a little
looking at
bit,
it, and I was like, I don't get like that with game night. I'm like,
Oh,
whatever.
yeah.
It's just, we're just
Right.
gonna have fun. But at the same time, I don't know. You know, April's very like she's like OCD with like by the book. So
Yeah,
it doesn't
she
surprise
is.
me that she
remember
would
her
be like that.
chart?
Her chart, yes, yes. I want to revert to Simon Umba in the chat before it goes too far up. He says, I know Jackson and Maggie, and this pretty much sums it perfectly. I know Jackson and Maggie aren't related by a technicality, but it still feels weird for them to be together.
Agreed, yeah.
That's
does.
everybody's feeling.
Right.
does.
Right.
It's weird.
Right.
I don't
they're-
know why the show is pushing it.
I
so-
don't know.
Maybe they want to make us feel uncomfortable.
Maybe, because I was gonna say that last scene I was almost here for it, but now that I'm out of it and
I'm always
like back
here
to
for
reality,
him.
right?
Jackson, I'm here
reality.
for you,
It's like,
but
okay, no,
yeah.
I still don't like him and Maggie together, but they almost had me. With that
Yeah.
smooth.
Well,
That's
Exactly.
because you
I
put
mean-
Jackson in front of anyone and I'll have it. Like, no. You know what
No,
I mean?
no,
You can't say
no.
no to Jackson.
Okay. Yeah. Well, different topic for a different day.
No.
But I was gonna say that. Well, now you just
Sorry.
totally took that away from me.
What?
Joe likes
I
Jackson
like
and
literally
Maggie.
lost my train of thought
It's okay.
because she did not like
like-
the fact that I said not Jackson every single day.
Maybe you were going to bring it back to what I was going to bring it back to, which was the whole, like, Clive kind of being a sleazeball.
No, but we can talk about that.
We can
too.
talk about that because I need
talk
to
about
talk about that.
But Joe March said
Yeah.
they like
That she likes-
Jackson and Maggie.
Thank you,
Yeah.
thank you, Joe. That's what I was
We
trying
have-
to get
we
back
have
to.
You
one in
like
here,
that?
too.
You
Yeah.
like them together.
Yeah. Okay.
You
so
like them together.
yes,
Tori, look at
I
me.
like.
Tori, look at me. You like Jackson
Timothy?
and Maggie together.
I like Jackson and Maggie together.
Why?
Is that clear?
I needed you to make
It's
that
been
absolutely clear to me
established.
because
Okay.
you and I are going to have some words.
I
after
told you that this was going to happen.
Yes, you did. You called
Okay,
it. I'm not
I didn't say it was gonna
discrediting that.
last. I didn't say that it was right. But do I like them together? Absolutely. You cannot deny their chemistry that
That's
they've
true.
had for actually a long
Sibling
time, if you've asked
chemistry.
me. Okay, see, no, you didn't need to take it there.
Sorry, I'm on
Like,
the J-Pro
you
train
did not need
forever.
to take it there. No, like.
I'm kind of team Jake.
It is sibling chemistry, though. I'm completely
Okay.
agree with Krista.
Like,
It's
I mean,
a
in the-
little-
But not.
Because I feel like they try to force it, like the scene where they were in surgery together,
the scene
and
when
then they were
in the
having
helicopter
like,
together.
Yeah.
See, all of their scenes are forced.
Okay, because. Okay.
No,
I can't
you
even argue
speak
with
your
that.
opinion.
I mean, I know
glad that
I
you like them together. I do. I'm sorry to jump down your throat about
no,
this.
I'm just, but
No,
they,
it's
you're
a
right
safe
though.
place.
They are.
Safe place, okay? Keep it together.
They are. Well, I don't think they're forced, but they are awkward because I feel like in the back of their minds they're like, I like you, but our parents are together.
Which
you know what?
technically
Not to
legally makes
interrupt
them-
that, but what you said last week, like, how you were like, you know what? It just needs to happen because they keep ending up in this situation. So you're right. It needs to happen, and we need to see where it goes.
It's kind of like
Yeah.
what
Okay.
Amelia was saying about DeLuca
Not
and
that I'm
Sam.
happy about it,
Right.
but you're right.
Oh,
They keep ending up
Well,
together.
no, right. I don't agree.
I'm glad me and Tori agree with that.
Yeah.
That
Yeah, I'm not here for
that's
DeLuca and Sam.
apples and oranges. Just saying.
But I'm just saying, I'm
At
comparing.
least Sam and and freaking DeLuca
DeLuca.
aren't kind of related legally.
True. But like Amelia was saying, though, like this tension is here. We can feel it. So do something about it. And get it
Yeah.
over. So
I agree.
agree.
It's what
I
she
agree.
said last
Yeah.
week. It just needs to happen.
I feel like I can't voice like what I'm really trying to say. You're getting my like words in my head all
He's
twisted
really
up
trying to-
I'm
because
sorry.
I'm like all for this, but then you bring up the sibling thing and Tori, do you really feel that way? And I'm just like, I don't know what I
Tori,
feel anymore.
Tori, you know we love you. We
You know
we
what?
love
This
you.
topic's gonna be tabled, I think.
Let's
come back
actually
to
move
that.
on to my third step of annoyance, which we touched on, which was Sam and DeLuca. That if we're going to talk about a forced relationship, if we're going to talk about a relationship that is not even relevant to any kind of storyline on Grey's Anatomy,
Right.
that is the relationship that I want to talk about.
They don't even want to be together.
Wait, I'm sorry. Did anyone catch their conversation when she went to go check up on him? When she said "I love you," did he respond with "Oh"?
Yes.
Because she said I love you too, but he didn't even say
but
I
he
love
never
you.
He just said it was always more than sex for me.
And my response would have been oh too.
Yeah, I was like,
And I
well,
think
first
he
of
was-
all, uh-oh.
Yeah. I think he was just trying to clear the air with them.
He
for
was,
being like,
right,
you know, so
right. But Amelia put that thought in her
attention.
head
Yeah.
when she went and
No,
asked.
Tom put that thought in her head. I feel like
They
Tom
all
was the
did.
one who like made her like go. Or maybe
He put the thought in her head, but Amelia made her address it.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah,
they both had a foot in this.
But
damn.
if someone ever responded to "I love you" to me with "Oh," I'd be like, okay, bye.
Right? Like,
She sits there. I was like,
she
no,
sits there
get.
cuddling in the bed. No, ma'am.
yes,
Like you
here's-
walk away.
Here's my thing with with that whole relationship. I feel like Sam was introduced so suddenly.
Yeah.
We didn't have any like backstory on her, and then there was like this really, I don't want to say violent, but this really like nasty kind of chemistry between the two of them, where we're automatically like, oh, something bad must have happened, and now we're sitting there like, okay, well, what happened?
Yeah, exactly.
Like at least give us some kind of backstory before you go
Yeah.
into like they literally had this whole. No, we don't want to be together. We don't want to be together. Oh, now we are together without us even knowing, like,
Yeah.
where do we even get
Yeah.
started?
Right.
Like, I'm
Super
so
complicated.
confused.
They're trying to make
agree.
this great love story, and like we don't know anything about
That's
them.
true, and maybe we'd
Cute.
feel differently if we did have a little background
what
story,
I'm saying. Yeah,
but we
exactly.
don't. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
So,
They're
there's that.
annoying. I have no words for them. We
Yeah.
we don't
Yeah,
even
let's
talk about them anymore.
let's move on. Let's move on.
I
Let's
don't
go back.
care about either one of these characters. Lindsay,
Exactly.
Waste
yeah.
of
Lindsay
time.
Jean.
Waste of time.
Yeah.
agreed, Lindsay.
Yeah, we all agree. We're all. I'm glad we're all in agreement on that.
On that one at least.
All right, moving on.
Was anybody expecting Cloud to be married?
No.
Wasn't.
No.
I wasn't. And then I got upset 'cause I
Daphne.
said, "Oh, you had the nerve to accuse Maggie in the morning." But are you married? Only a woman that.
Oh
I
my
was like,
gosh.
Do you
I
remember
totally
that?
forgot
That's
about
projection.
that.
Wrote that
That's
down.
projection.
Oh my
He projected his
gosh.
own
I
things
missed that.
onto
Remember, he was
Maggie.
like, "How is a single woman living in a house like this all by herself? You sure you're not
Not
married?"
What? Oh, he tried it.
He-
He tried
He
it.
tried it.
he was
did
gonna be like,
it.
me too.
I hate you. Maybe that's what. I hate you. He's gonna be like, me too. She said yes. Could you imagine?
That's an ugly laugh. Like,
Oh my gosh.
Sorry.
Oh god, make us get all
my
red over here.
the veins are coming through.
But
Yeah, but I wasn't expecting that.
What?
I wasn't expecting that. So that, like I said, in now clarity, now that we've out of the episode a little bit, I'm back to not liking Jackson and Maggie.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
that made me kind of fall for it because here comes Jackson
To the
kind of
rescue.
saving
Right.
the day.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
And being so, I broke up with Priya. I don't even. I'm
Adore
surprised she
that.
was real. You know what I
Right,
mean?
yes,
Yeah. Okay.
that.
Surprised with that, but and kind of like, you deserve better type of thing, you know,
Yeah.
even with, you know, saying that without saying it.
Yeah.
And just really like, I'm into you. Like, things are complicated, but I wouldn't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of really, you know,
I'm
purposely
sorry.
hurt you.
I'm totally here for that. The door was open and he walked right through it.
He rubbed
That's
right
yeah.
in it.
I agree with you.
Like-
I completely agree with you on that front. I do think that he saw an opportunity, and in that moment, it's weird because in that moment, it didn't feel forced. It actually
didn't.
felt natural. And if it wasn't Maggie, I would be all for it. But it's Maggie, and it's just weird to me. And what? Oh, wait, Krista, go ahead, shout it out. 'Cause-
I'm sorry. Maggie has more in common with Meredith now. LOL. They both slept with married men.
Oh, that's
I'm
a
sorry.
burn.
Yeah. But it made me giggle a little
Baby
bit because
Kagome is 16. That's
Oh.
wow.
Well, at least Meredith married her.
Yikes.
Oh my gosh. Okay, since we're
Spitting
talking
game.
about that, can we go back to Clive for a second? Because Daphne walked in and she said that she was tracking him on her phone.
Yes.
like Snapchat.
Like, come
Find My
on.
Friends.
Like, how, like, that's all it was? Like, he was
Too
just tracking.
easy.
Yeah,
Too
way,
easy.
way too easy.
He's
I don't
not
think
a
it was too
good
easy.
kid.
I think that if she had, I mean, she addressed that she had these suspicions way before.
true.
So it's
Right.
only natural for somebody to take the steps necessary that they feel necessary
But
to see
I'm
what
saying,
you're...
well, yeah, but I'm saying on Clive's part, like, you didn't try to cover your tracks at all.
Here's my
But he
thing.
might not have known.
I
You
can
know how
understand-
we are.
Like,
Come on.
It's late at night. Like, where did you think that he was going?
It's
Like,
just-
did you?
yeah.
He's a stockbroker. Like,
But also,
But like she mentioned something
He's
about
not
her
a
going out of
doctor.
town.
yeah, she goes out.
She was out of town.
Yeah.
and I think it just goes to prove that this relationship's crazy, and she might just feed off of him cheating and then yelling at her, and they go home and they're all better.
That's
So,
true.
True.
That should
it was
maybe
a
not-
messed
Oh,
up.
no.
It sounds
Right.
like this is a
Yeah.
habitual thing.
Right. She was gonna say she may reference like
Yeah.
this isn't the first time.
This is the 6th time this week I've picked him up at someone else's house.
Yeah.
If she would have said that, I would have lost my everything.
Takes a leash out.
Everything.
Maybe he'll sleep with Priya next now that she's an available agent.
Hey,
Just
there you
saying.
go.
He
You
seems
never
to like
know.
the ethnic girls.
Did anybody feel? Did anybody feel sad for Maggie?
A little
No.
bit. A little
Here's the
bit.
thing.
I
Here's the
did.
thing.
I
like.
did.
No, I like.
All this
First of all, we
hostility
never
you're giving
liked
today.
Clive. We never liked Clive for Maggie in the
That's
first place.
true.
Here's my thing with Maggie. I love her as a person. She's the sweetest. I think that out of all the sisters, she has her stuff together in order to be in a relationship.
Which is why
I
you
just-
should feel bad for her because she just slept with a married man.
I just need her to find the right person, and I never liked Clive with her in the
Yeah.
first place. So at the end, I'm just like, I told you so. I don't feel bad. I told
But
you so.
Jackson's not the right guy either, huh?
No.
But Maggie's so she's so like sweet and I
Innocent.
I know.
You
And that, I
know?
think she's more upset that, oh my gosh, I'm not a person that sleeps with married men. And
Yeah,
he took
then-
that away
Right.
from her.
And I think that she was, this was good for her. She's like, you know what, I'm not gonna date anybody at the hospital. Like I'm just being my own person, trying to figure things out. Like, and when we first met him, he seemed like a genuine guy. Like it seemed as if he was somebody that she needed to be
Yeah.
with.
And she was liking the fact that he wasn't in the hospital.
Right.
And, she met someone outside.
Right.
And
I'm
then
glad
that happened.
Amelia suggested the game night.
Yes.
Because without that, but that was a good sisterly thing to do. Like, we need to see him and things like that. Okay, so real quick, I mentioned like a segment. So it's a working title.
Yes.
But like the best moment or who had the best line of the night.
Okay. Real
We'll start
quick.
with you, Timothy, yeah.
I'm gonna say the person who had the best line. I'm gonna go with Dr. Marie Cerrone when she said your mother would have been proud of you. Because I just love when they, like I said, bring it back to Ellis.
Shady. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Mine is 100% everything Jackson said at the end to Maggie. I love you.
I love you.
Oh my goodness. I'm gonna have to agree with you.
No, do it.
Jackson had me at we can go to that Italian restaurant that you really like.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
More
Italian's my
specifically, mine
favorite
was,
food.
let me take you on a proper date.
Date.
It's 2018.
Yes.
Dates don't exist anymore.
That's a good line.
that is
Let me
true.
take you on a
Yes.
proper
That
date.
is true.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Well, we have a lot to look forward to next week.
Yes. Yes.
And
yeah.
I can't wait. So we will see you guys next week. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Elle Marie. You guys can find me on Instagram and on Twitter at Elle Marie TV.
And I'm Tori Bourssard. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Tori_Broussard.
I'm Krista, and you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Krista Flentje.
I am Timothy Michael. You can find me everywhere at I am Timothy Mike. And we know about the characters that are leaving. We will address the next episode.
Yes.
Yes. We will. Ran out of time for that.
Yes. Good night, guys.
See you next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.